So there was one day where this guy was walking home and he noticed that a dog was following him. This dog was huge, so he was a little bit scared, but then he noticed how the dog was really sweet to him. That dog ended up following him all the way home, and this guy was like, I think I'm gonna have a pet now, and brings him into the house. A few weeks pass and he still has this dog. He's really happy. The dog got used to the home. He was really happy with his new dog. So one day the guy's friend was gonna come for a visit, and the friend is a witch. When the friend comes in and sees that dog, she immediately turns to, the guy and says, "Hey, I need to talk to you in private. Can we go outside?" He of course agrees, and when he goes outside, the friend, the witch, asks, "Where did you get that dog from?" And he was like, "Well, it was following me one day and now he's my pet." The witch tells him, "No, that dog is a person. That dog is a Nagual." Okay, pause. I'm gonna tell you the most basic thing that I know about what a Nagual is. A Nagual is a person who can shapeshift into an animal. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know too much about them, but if you're watching this and you do, leave it in the comments. But there's a lot more to it. Like, people believe that the shapeshifters were born with a certain animal that they can shapeshift into. And some people believe that if you tap into it, you can shapeshift into that animal. Some people say they're evil, some people say they're protectors. Again, this is just the most basic things that I know about a Nahual. She starts explaining to him how bad it was that he literally invited the Nahual into his home, into being part of his family. She warns him that that dog will eventually become your owner. Worse things are yet to come, and that he needed to be very careful. The guy went back into his house, pretended like nothing was wrong, and so did the dog. Except for there was a point where he thought that he heard that dog talk, and that is when he was like, "This is definitely a Nagual." Obviously, he goes to his witch friend and says, "What do I do?" The witch tells him that he has to take the Nagual's life. And he was like, "Well, can you help me?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll help you." So they go into the house, they put the dog on a leash. The dog is still acting normal, he's a dog and not a Nagual. And they take him to the back of the house where there is a forest area. They ended up tying the dog to a tree, and even then the dog was still chill. Nothing was wrong. He is a dog. The dog let him tie him up to the tree, and when they tie him up, he backs up, he looks at his friend the witch and says, "Now what?" And she says, "Now you end his life." He had a pew-pew with him, and he had to work himself up to do this because obviously what the fuck, what am I doing? He walks up to the dog, puts the pew-pew towards the dog, and shoots. Nothing happened. The dog was still there, looking at them after being pew-pewed. The dog didn't even flinch. The dog was still staring at them what did you think was gonna fucking happen? He literally backed away from the dog that should have not been alive still, and looked at his friend and says, "Now what?" And his witch friend was like, "Let's get out of here." They left the dog tied up to that tree and started walking away from them, just leaving the whole situation. And it was then where they were walking away where they heard the following.
"Hey, don't leave me here. Hey, come back. Don't leave me here. I'm your friend. Don't leave me here."
The witch friend looks at him and says, "Don't turn around. Don't look back." They went all the way home and left that dog still tied up to that tree. The following day, they decided to go back. When they went back, dog was not there. The leash was torn apart. He said that around the tree, there was a lot of animals that had been torn apart, and says that he has not seen that dog again. He says that ever since that day when people start talking about Naguales and things of that sort, he 100% believes everything that they claim and that they say. And he assures them that they are real, that what he experienced was real. Anyway, what do you guys think?